In today's video, we're going to shine a dark brown pair of Capto Oxfords that you can see have really been beaten up. With a little bit of love and care through our presidential shoe shine service, you can see that these shoes have been restored to almost like new condition. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Now, these shoes were sent to us through our shoe shine service, where customers are able to mail in shoes to us to our Hanger Project offices, and we shine these shoes here. This is part of our presidential shoe shine, which is the most intensive shoe shine that we offer, and really is almost a complete restoration of a pair of shoes. The first step of this shoe shine is really pulling off any of the old polish using the Saphir Reno mat. This helps pull off anything that's been added on top of the leather, and this is a pretty intensive, deep clean. Next, I'm going to condition and nourish the leather using the Saphir dubbin. Now, the dubbin is a vegetable-based conditioner that really does a great job penetrating the leather, rehydrating it, and nourishing it. Especially after any time that you've cleaned the shoes, you're always going to dehydrate that leather a little bit. And so with this presidential shoe shine, I always enjoy using the dubbin to provide that deep, lasting nourishment and rehydration of the leather. Now, these shoes are pretty beaten down. There's a lot of pigment that's been lost from the leather, and really it exceeds what you would be able to recolor just using a cream polish. Because these shoes have been so beaten up, you see a lot of discoloration across the leather that we're going to need to use something stronger than just a cream polish. So here you see us using the Saphir Juba, which is like a cross between a cream polish and a permanent leather dye. What I like about this product is it really has a good saturation to it. It doesn't have much transparency, and so that it's really good at actually changing the color of leather. So with this particular pair of shoes where you see a lot of discoloration, this is going to help totally change and darken this leather, much in the same way that a leather dye would. Now here I'm using the Saphir Renovating Repair Cream, which is similar but thicker than the Saphir Juba, and this is good for any type of deep scuffs or scratches. So not only is it going to help provide recoloration, but the pigment and the resin in this is going to help actually fill and smooth out those scuffs and scratches. So here on the toes, where shoes of course are always prone to more deep scuffing if you were to kick something, I'm going to apply the Saphir Renovating Repair Cream here. Next, we're going to continue refinishing this leather using the Saphir Juba, now moving on to the toe caps. Again, I'm just applying this with my hands, and what I love about this product, again, is you can see that it does a great job saturating this leather. It's a really opaque cream that's not transparent, and so it's going to do a great job recoloring this leather. You can see that as we apply this, we're pretty significantly darkening this leather. It's smoothing out this finish. It's giving these shoes that pigment that it needs in order for the leather really to have a clean, smooth finish. Now, I'm touching up just a few places that look like it needs some more cream and pigment. This is a foundational layer. Then, anytime you use the Saphir Juba, it's very important to then polish on top of it. So now that we've applied the Saphir Juba, you can see that the finish of this leather has been smoothed and evened. Now I'm going to buff it using a horsehair brush. Again, it's just going to help smooth that out. The Saphir Juba does contain some waxes, so it will shine up a little bit. Really see here that with just a little bit of buffing, that Saphir Juba evens out and the shine elevates quite nicely. Okay, so now that we've applied the Saphir Juba, we still want to introduce some traditional cream polish that's going to feed the leather, add more pigment, and help even that finish out even more. Now, a cream polish is going to contain more waxes than the Juba does, and so it's going to help us start building that foundational layer of hard waxes that are going to produce a nice shine and protect this leather. You can apply the Saphir Palmadier cream polish either with your fingers if you want to be really efficient with the application, or I often like to use a cotton chamois. Now I prefer to use chamois over something like a dauber because it does allow you to better control the amount of polish that you're applying and produce a higher yield on the polish itself. I mean, you're really pushing the polish into the leather. You want the polish to feed the leather. You want to get those waxes into the pore of the leather. That's going to help the leather better absorb this polish, but it's also going to produce a higher shine by filling those pores with wax. So after I'm done with one shoe, I'm going to set that aside, let those waxes dry while I apply the Palmadier cream polish onto the second pair of shoes. A good shoe shine brush really goes a long way. I developed our Wellington shoe shine brushes over the course of several years, actually traveling twice to our manufacturer to sit down with them to go over the different characteristics of our brushes to ensure that it was at our quality standard. Not only does it use a higher quality 100% tail horsehair, but we also increased the length of the bristle on our brushes and increased the density just to allow it to do a better job in buffing the shoe. After that Saphir Palmadier cream polish has been allowed to dry, simply buff it off. You want to remove any excess cream polish, any excess waxes. You're going to smooth those waxes out, and then the friction in the brushes are going to help elevate the shine by glissaging those waxes. There we go, beautiful. So after we've done that, now we're going to work on our mirror shine. Now a mirror shine really is done using 3 different products. The first product is the Saphir Mirror Gloss, which is a product that I helped actually develop. This has a high concentration of those hard waxes, a low solvent concentration, and it's a really hard polish that helps build that foundation of hard waxes that will produce that high shine. So I always like to apply this in a few coats, again, to build that foundation, and then come on top of that with some of the Pat Deluxe, which helps melt those waxes with the higher concentration of solvents, a little bit of water, and then our high shine chamois. Here you can see I've got my high shine water dispenser, which, of course, is just a fun embellishment. I'm going to use one of our high shine chamois, and then I'm bringing out some dark brown Saphir Pat Deluxe wax polish. Now the Pat Deluxe wax polish and the mirror glass really work beautifully together, and I always enjoy using those in concert. One of the things I want to do with this pair of shoes to give some dimensionality to the finish is darken the toe caps slightly. I'm going to do that by using a combination of the dark brown mirror gloss and the dark brown Pat Deluxe wax polish. So I'm applying the mirror gloss here, and then I'm going to buff that layer of the mirror gloss using the Pat Deluxe wax polish. Now a good mirror shine can't be rushed. There's no question that the mirror gloss helps accelerate that process more than if you were just using the Pat Deluxe, but you still have to apply several coats, allow for the wax to polish, and then buff it off with your chamois until you produce a high shine out of that particular layer. Then you have to repeat by doing a second layer, buffing, a third layer, and buffing. But after 3 or 4 layers, even with a new pair of shoes, if you're using the mirror gloss and the Pat Deluxe, you should be able to produce a beautiful mirror shine. Now you can see these shoes were totally beaten up whenever we received them. Probably one of the most neglected pair of shoes that we've received, but you can really see that with a little bit of polish and attention that these shoes have been totally transformed and given a new lease on life.